They were just terrible roommates. They were terrible people. They would constantly cheat on one another, and when she would leave, he would just cry and beg. And
he told us we had to move out.
I had to call the police. The police kicked him out.
They smoked so much weed. It was just constant.
Where's my dryer at that you stole?
Judge is speaking now.
You're in a court.
Plaintiff Vincent Davis is suing his former roommate for $877 for unpaid rent, utilities, and cleaning fees. Defendant Stephen Kluck claims the plaintiff overcharged him on the rent and says he owes him nothing.
Do you swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. The Honorable Judge Jerry Springer now presiding. Good morning, Judge.
Morning, Najee.
This is case number 073 on the docket, Davis versus Kluck.
Thank you.
You're welcome,
and
Judge.
Welcome to all of you. Let's see what we have here. We have the plaintiff, Vincent Davis. You are suing your ex-roommate, Stephen Kluck, for $877 for unpaid rent, utilities, and cleaning. And I understand, Joanna, you are part of this case too, because you're the third roommate here, right? We have, are you
Yes,
two
Your Honor.
living together? And yeah, I get it. Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
Vincent, what is your side of the case?
All right, Your Honor. So I'm here because, long story short, Stephen and Joanna have just been a complete mess as roommates. I mean, I could start in a number of different places, but the main point is the fact that there's unpaid rent, utilities, and cleaning services that I had to pay for once they moved out of the home.
What was the arrangement in terms of paying the rent?
We're to split rent $800, split it 3 ways evenly between 3 grown adults. So that totaled out to $532 of unpaid rent, on top of a $50 late fee that's applied on the 5th of the month, and then $5 each day that gets still not paid. The landlord was kind enough to say, you know what, don't worry about the extra $5 a day, just pay the $532 plus the $50.
The rent is $800 a month. There are 3 of you, so they pay 2/3 of it. That's $532. So you're suing them because you say they owe 1 month's rent.
1 month's
right?
rent, the utilities,
and plus other
the late
utilities and other things.
Right, yeah,
but in terms
yes,
of the
Your Honor,
rent,
yes.
it's $532. Okay, go ahead.
The utilities would get to the point where they were extremely high because they would leave the TV on. Not just one TV. These are 2 adults with 2 TVs, 2 Xboxes, and a PlayStation in their room. They would go to bed, leave all of this stuff on.
That's not true.
I object.
Because you already complain about paying so much. Since there's 3 of us here, you know, you're paying a third, you're paying a third. You put that together, no matter how high it gets, you're gonna be upset. It could go lower if you would turn your things off.
Sometimes I'm on late at night, and so you could see how they would want to keep the TV on late at night.
No. This would be, they would leave, they would leave for work, Your Honor. They would leave for work and leave.
That's not true.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just being silly. From your point of view,
Well,
what was it like living with them?
it was like living with 2 hermit crabs. They stayed in their room, and I had no problem with that. Stay in your room, do what you want to do. But once that door opens and you open your room to the rest of the house has to see what's inside of your room, what smells come out of your room.
I may regret asking this question, but what kind of smell comes out of that room?
What kind of smells do you want me to? I mean, there would be smoke from weed, and then from just the overall just dirtiness, the odor. Like I'm telling you, you go into this room and it's like homeless people live here. There's clothes everywhere.
What?
There's literally a trail of dirt. The carpet was tan when we moved in, and you can actually see in Exhibit B here the kind of state
That's
that
from work, Your Honor.
the state that the carpet was left in. We could, like, there was, imagine how dark carpet has to be, how dirty it has to be
Yeah, you would
in
work
order
in
for it
fast
to
food.
turn black.
Yeah.
It went from the front door to strictly their bedroom. There was just a trail. Once you open the door into the bedroom, there was the trail continued, but there was no dirt or anything where they had rugs, furniture, bed. The carpet was that dirty, and it was just roaches coming out of their clothes. I'd go in there to clean up.
What clothes? There were no clothes
I
in
would
there
go
after
into their
we
room to
left.
clean up because the people had to come over to fix their room for a toilet that they let leak so bad it rotted the wood in the floor. This toilet sunk into the ground a good inch. So when people come over to clean up this mess that they've made, there's weed everywhere. He dropped a pile of weed on the ground, and then I told him in advance, hey, people are coming, clean this stuff up. There's bugs on the walls, daytime bugs.
Okay.
Bugs come out at night. These bugs come out during the day because they're so comfortable with the place. They like it. It's home. It's disgusting.
Daytime bugs.
Yeah, yeah, the bugs come out during the day. Okay, these are daytime bugs.
Daytime bugs.
Daytime
bugs.
bugs.
Yeah. Okay, so let me hear from Stephen and Joanna. What's the deal? You've heard what he has said, and I guess my basic question after hearing your side is, why not? Why would you not pay that last month's rent?
The original agreement was the first year that we lived with them, we paid one flat fee, and that was the agreement for the first year, was the one flat fee. Then the second year that we moved in with them, it was supposed to be 50-50, but we signed the lease.
My God.
And then after we signed the lease, we didn't really discuss it because we just assumed that we were going to have the same agreement.
Yeah,
Well,
50-50
when
because
we
you have
moved
more
in,
than half the
we
house.
signed the lease, and then he made a big argument saying that we were 3 different people, and then we...
So my question is, if we're 3 separate people and we all had to pay 3 separate portions of bills, how are you suing him for 2 people's portions of the bills? He's 1 person, not 2.
All right.
First of all.
If that's the
First
question.
of all.
Okay.
Second of all, where's my dryer at that you stole? Where's my dryer? Yes, you switched my dryer. I went and bought a brand new washer and dryer set. Yes, we did. I put my washer upstairs because your piece of crap didn't work. I put my brand new washer upstairs, put my dryer down in the basement. When we moved out, it's not a set anymore. How did that happen, Mr. Vincent? And no, and your electric bill got so high because you paid it late every month. We paid it on time every single month up until the last month. What about the deposit we put on that?
As I understand it, the lawsuit is not about those items, even though I understand what you're saying, and I gave all of you a chance to
But it is
talk
about the electric bill, is it not?
You're being sued specifically for paying your share of that last month's rent. Your share of the utilities, which
we paid 2/3 of $250 whenever we moved in for a deposit. We never got any of that deposit back. That more than covers the last month's electric bill.
What you get back in terms of a security deposit or the deposit for the utilities, yeah, you paid a deposit for the utilities, right? Is that what you're saying?
But he stayed in the house after we moved out. He told us we had to move out. He told us he was moving out. He stayed in the house with our money, our security deposit. We have our own house now, and we almost couldn't get our electric turned on because his bill was so high, and we were the backup people on the electric bill because his bill was almost $800.
Okay.
Let me just hear from the plaintiff now that they put a deposit down when they first moved in for the utilities, $250. What about that? They didn't get that back.
Once they moved out, I continued to stay in contact with them about all of this. I let Stephen know, hey, we're gonna get a deposit back. Keep in touch. I'm currently blocked on Facebook. I got this on video. I had everything written out, laid out to the T. I took it to his job because he did not want to speak with me. I had to go and find him in person. I went to his job and I let him know, hey, this is what you owe. This is what you agreed to pay. Will you pay it? And this is on video.
How are we gonna get a deposit
and he
back
said,
from electric?
he said, yes, I will pay it. I said, sign this paper saying you'll do so. He said, I won't sign anything without Joanna being here.
Let's see the video now.
I'm not signing it.
Well, you're not going to get this dude's number, and we're about to have a bigger problem than just...
I want his phone number.
You won't get his phone number. I will straight give you his... Okay, we'll sign this. Okay, we'll sign this.
I will talk to him.
So you're not going to sign this?
No, not right now. I will talk to him.
So you're not going to sign that?
But you're refusing to give me his phone number.
No, I'm agreeing to give you his phone number. Just sign the paper, bro.
So the paper you wanted to sign to say that he's going to
Where's
pay
the
it,
rest
you're
of the video
referring
where
to
you
the
went
rent.
behind the counter and tried to
I understand. I'm
beat
not
him up?
suggesting that was a good thing to do, but I just wanted, it was referring to them paying the rent, right?
It was referring to them paying the $877. It was written out. It was spelled out. It was there.
Okay. Has the security deposit been returned to anybody?
No.
Has anyone used, okay. So the security deposit
He
your
used to stay
right
in
to
the
get
home for another year.
If you would have kept in contact with me, you would know that I was in perfect contact with the utility company, and they went and they let me know, hey, Mr. Davis, this money is coming back to you, but we need confirmation from
I don't know how
Joanna
that's possible
and
because we
Stephen.
just got our
I'm not
electric turned
talking
on
with
in May. That's why.
Okay, well, you quiet. I'm not talking about the deposit for the utilities. I'm talking about
talking about the rent.
security deposit when you moved in. That security deposit, has anybody received the security deposit back? No. So the payment of the security deposit to anybody is between you and the landlord. That's not a suit between you two. Now, if the security deposit did go back to one of you...
You saw in the video, he was not willing to give us a landlord's phone number, ever.
Why do you not have your landlord's phone number?
Okay, well, hold on.
He called him. He never gave us his phone number.
Why don't you have his phone number? It's your landlord, too.
Your name is on the lease. Because you're the one that dealt with him from the beginning. Is his phone number anywhere in this paperwork?
Your name is on the lease.
No, it's not. You're the one that went and looked at the house. You're the one that went and got the rental renewal agreement for us to sign. You're the one that got it.
Wait a second. You don't know who to contact in order to pay your rent?
All I know was his name. I didn't know his phone number or any contact information for him.
And you're saying you don't have the ability... You don't have the ability to find out how to contact the landlord.
Not in a big city. You can't find out somebody's personal phone number.
Your Honor, the way that I got the phone number, he had, since our landlord lives in Nevada, he has a maintenance person that goes around and
give them the phone. This is silly that we're arguing over a phone number. Give them the phone number, and then I'll deal with them having to pay the rent. But you got to give them the phone number so that they can deal with the landlord about the security deposit. They are entitled to whatever is going to come back. Now, my guess is, looking at pictures of this place, there's not going to be a lot of money coming back with the security deposit. But that's between you and the landlord. I won't get into that. You're on the lease.
How can he sue us for something he hasn't paid? According to the landlord, he still has never paid that month. He never paid. What he's suing us for, he never paid the money.
You don't know your name.
How do you know if you haven't talked to the
Because we had to talk to him whenever we moved into our new house in order for us to get our electric turned on because your bill was so high.
The judge is speaking, man.
You're in a court. Okay. On the rent, your name is on the lease. You have to pay the rent on the lease. You signed the lease. I know you're not happy with your roommate. That happens, but that's not a legal issue. You signed that lease. You're responsible for 2/3 of it.
Also, the bugs were already there whenever we moved in, because if we had the bugs and the bugs came from us, wouldn't we have had him in the house that we lived with him for a year before that? The bugs were there when we moved in. Our property manager told us.
I know. I'm not ruling on the bugs. Right now, I am just ruling on the rent, and I think you have to pay the $532, the both of you combined. You can figure out how you're going to do it. But he's entitled, since he has to pay the whole rent, he's entitled for the 1 month that you had signed the lease to do it. So I fined for the plaintiff in the sum of $532.
They were constantly boxing with one another. Too many times that I break up a fight where she was actually winning.
There's more to that video than what he showed. He came behind the counter, almost got me fired, and I had to call the police. The police came, kicked him out.
They had total disrespect for my daughter. They'd have her smelling like weed because they smoke so much. Like, we breathe oxygen, we drink water, they smoke weed. And then they smoked weed. And then they smoked some more weed. And it was just constant. And there was nothing I could do about it. I just had to sit there and live with it until the lease was over. But once the lease is over, they had to put the nail in the coffin and skip out on some money. So that's when it becomes, okay, now I need that back.
It's not our fault that the toilet leaked like it did. The property manager knew about it when we moved in there. All this stuff was already there when we moved in, and he just chose not to do anything about it or give us the phone number so that we could do anything about it.
And all relationships go through trials and tribulations. I mean, every couple does. I mean, we're not different than any other couple. We fight, we argue. I mean, it happens.
But we love each other. At the end of the day, we still love each other.
Very much.
So I'm glad that this whole thing's finally been drawn to a close. I wish we could have gotten on to more, but we couldn't. I'm happy with what I got. and hopefully they learn from this experience and do something better with their life.
Hey, YouTube, thanks for watching. For more Judge Jerry, click here. For more Jerry Springer, click here.